Hey everyone, this is Kate Weatherwise, your favorite weather girl, coming to you on Tuesday evening, February 3rd, 2026. It is nearing 11:30 p.m. on the East Coast and 8:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Now, tonight's weather video is about current weather through about February 9th, which is Monday, this coming Monday. I've given other weather forecasts and updates for that same time frame, but this is a more updated forecast because, as you know, things change daily with the weather, and so this is an update to that time frame that's going to contain all the newest data and what we're going to see this week and into the weekend. Now, currently, I'm going to take us to what the radar is looking like here around the country. It is not too busy. We have some rain and thunderstorms here down in the south and to the southeast. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this area so we can see. We have some thunderstorms reaching southwest of Houston all the way up into Mississippi and Louisiana. You all are experiencing some thunder, maybe a little bit of lightning and rain. And then we have just plain rain for the most part. Maybe some rumbles of thunder from this cell right here. Maybe rumbles of thunder from this cell right here. But this is rain that's all moving to the east, but then also to the northeast. Atlanta, you are getting just rain. And then if we go north into North Carolina, into Virginia, and very southern and western Maryland, this is where we turn into mixed precipitation here in central western North Carolina. And then Virginia, you're seeing some mixed precipitation as well tonight. And then the further northeast you go, it turns into snow. And then there's a little bit of mixed rain in here as well, but then snow as you head into southern Maryland. So that's what's going on here currently. And then, of course, into West Virginia and Kentucky, we have some snow here and then some rain here. And as we continue around the country further north, we do have some snow showers. Some of these on radar may actually be ground clutter, but this is definitely snow. This may be a few stray lake effect snow showers. Along with here too, this looks like it could be ground clutter. But overall, there's some snow that is falling around that area. Now, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. We're going to go into the center part of the country. There's some, you wouldn't necessarily expect to see rain this time of year in South Dakota, but that's what we have. We have some rain, we have some snow around the Denver area, a little bit more rain and some mixed precipitation into Kansas, and then into Oklahoma and into the panhandle of Texas. And as we go up here, the rest of this area is all clear and calm. Now, as I mentioned in my short video yesterday, this whole area this week is going to see offshore winds, warmth, and sunshine pretty much all week long in this area, in this region of the country, which is very, very nice. And as we go north, there's some rain that is moving into the western Washington area, into western Washington, and into Canada as well. That's a little bit of snow right there, and that's where the Olympic Mountains are. So the snow is falling at the peak of those mountains, and then as it moves in to western Washington, there should be some snow that will begin to fall in the Cascades, which will be a good thing. So that's on our tour of radar sites around the country. That's what's going on tonight. Now, as we take a look at what the temperatures are doing, as you can see right here, this is where our thunderstorm bubble is, where we definitely saw some thunderstorms moving through. It is in the 50s and 60s down here currently right now. It was a little bit warmer, but because it's nighttime and those thunder and storms and rain are moving through, it has cooled down quite a bit. And then as we go north here over into North Carolina and Virginia, where we saw that snow falling, we do have some. This is what it looks like on radar with the snow showers. And so we do have some light snow falling in this area. But temperature-wise, it is pretty cold. Not super cold like it has been, but definitely warmer in some areas than it has been as well. So if you want to see the super cold air, you've got to go way north up in here into Wisconsin. It's -1, -2, -3. This is what they're used to. But then you go out west and it's not too shabby. 35 degrees in Montana. Now, as I talked again about yesterday, this whole part of the country, we'll see here in a moment, is going to be pretty warm tomorrow and Thursday with some sunshine, and it's going to feel like a spring day for a lot of you in this area. And even into the south as well. The south, you're kind of used to that. You know, February could start to tease you a little bit about spring, but not so much up here into this part of the world. It's usually a lot colder. So that's what we have as far as temperatures are concerned for around the country. It's not too cold. Now, as we go to the National Weather Service homepage, you see there is not a lot going on. Not at all. There's some frost advisories for northern Florida. Again tonight, this is the fourth night in a row you have seen temperatures that are cold. So that's still going on. There's a winter weather advisory for northern Kentucky, and then some dense fog and or air stagnation advisories for here. This is dense fog here, and this is air stagnation in central California. Okay, so this is another vantage point of what I wanted to talk about too. You see how the whole United States is being influenced by one or multiple high pressure systems, the entire country. And if I zoom out a little bit, you can see this low pressure here pretty much covers all of the North Pacific Ocean. This high pressure is blocking that from moving into that neck of the woods. And then this whole area is a low pressure system as well. And it brings in those warmer ocean temperatures, which is why usually Ireland stays pretty warm this time of year, warm-ish, because of the way the winds are and how the ocean temperature is. But the United States is under the influence of a high pressure, which is another reason why it is going to be warmer all in the center of the country tomorrow because of that high pressure, of multiple high pressures. So that's going to be to see what our high temperatures reach out to be tomorrow. That will be something that I will be keeping an eye on. Now, as we go over here, this is a kind of a neat thing, and this shows you all of North America. And starting tomorrow and for the rest of the week, you can see here, this is the whole United States up into Canada, and where those really, really cold temperatures are bottled up into northern Canada, into the Arctic, almost to the top of the world. So I'm going to cycle us forward, and you're going to see how this cold air has retreated back north. It starts to come back down again by Friday, and over the weekend, this cold air starts to filter back down into the U.S. This is Saturday morning, overnight, Friday night into Saturday morning. We're going to start to see some colder air sift back down and then kind of get reinforced Saturday night into Sunday. And it's really focused on about Michigan, Ohio, as you can see, down into Virginia, West Virginia, and then back up again where those really cold temperatures are going to be. And then the central and western part of the country, you all are going to still be under the influence of a high pressure system. That has been monotonous and ongoing for weeks and weeks now. So that's not going to change at all. And then that cold air goes away, but then it hangs around. So into Monday, not until this goes through Monday morning. So for the whole weekend, starting Friday into the whole weekend, that cold air is going to be in place for this area of the country right here. And then this whole area, as you can see, I'll back up a little bit. This is Friday morning. Now, this is kind of like the omega high I was talking about, where we do have a little bit of a trough here, and then the high pressure here, and then the trough here. So it's going to be warm even overnight. It's going to be warm in the center part of the country, and then a little bit cooler on the Pacific coast and of course on the East Coast. And then you go through the day. This is Thursday. It's just going to be really warm in the center part of the country. That's not a maybe, that's a definitely. And then you go into Friday, and it's going to be warm again on Friday. Not as warm, but warm. And then look at Texas. You're in the red. So it's definitely going to be warm for you guys on Thursday, but then that cold air starts to come back down, but that's for the east. And that comes in, clips a little bit of Minnesota into Wisconsin, and then it comes down and then moves east and hits you guys here into the Northeast down to the mid-Atlantic. So that's what we have as far as temperatures are concerned. Now I'm going to take us over to what the precipitation is going to look like for this weekend. Move this over a little bit so we can see mostly all the states. So we have this system here that's moving through right now and bringing a little bit of snow to the north end of this northeast of the low, and then rain and thunderstorms down to the south, in the south. So I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. Then that colder air comes down a little bit, and it stays nice and warm, this high pressure here into, I keep focusing on Montana because it's going to be warm in Montana tomorrow. And then this trough comes back down. Thursday, another warm day for you guys. This low pressure system gets off the coast here, and it creates a nice little low pressure system. And then it makes the coastal areas a little bit breezy, especially the North Carolina coast on Thursday afternoon into evening. But this colder air follows behind this low pressure, but it's not going to be that much colder, but it is going to be a little bit colder. And then that goes away. And then this system that I was talking about a couple days ago, it looks like it's going to bring a little bit of snow. Here's the low pressure. These low pressures are going to sort of combine off the coast here in a minute. We'll see that. And then it pops off the coast here. This is Saturday morning. And then that's when the wind really gets boosted here. And then that's when that cold air from the north just falls off up here in the Arctic and then comes down. Sorry, I'm pointing at my screen instead of showing with my cursor. And then that just slides down into the East Coast and brings in that cold. But if you take a look back out here at the west, you can see some systems start to come in to the west here with some cold air behind it. This is Saturday afternoon. Now, the West Coast, and the Pacific Northwest especially, you are going to see some rain over the weekend with some snow in the mountains, some rain in eastern Washington with some snow perhaps at the Canadian border, some mixed precipitation up there into Idaho as well. And then into Sunday, this next system is going to be coming up from the south. So it's going to be lifting up some warmer air over top. So this is going to be all rain, but then some snow over here in the mountains of the Cascades. And then this low pressure finally comes in off the coast. And that could bring a squall line into Oregon. You can see this yellow right here. As this low pressure comes in and brings the wind with it, it could create a squall line as the day goes this is Sunday, which is Super Bowl Sunday. And then snow for the mountains as well. And then there's going to be some snow over here into Montana. So your trees and your bugs and everything else are going to be in shock because it's going to be really nice tomorrow, Thursday into Friday. And then over the course of the weekend, it's going to turn from nice to cold again, and then some snow by the time Monday rolls around, Sunday into Monday. So, and then this next system here on the Pacific Coast on Monday is going to bring in a little bit of wind into western Washington with some snow in the mountains. So that's going to be welcomed. So let's back up again here and go to the East Coast. As I was mentioning, this low pops off here off the coast and creates some wind and perhaps some snow up here into the New York City area, into Connecticut and Rhode Island, and maybe some snow in Massachusetts, and of course into upstate New York and into New England. But that is going to then pull away by Saturday night. But the winds are still going to be behind, so it's still going to stay a little bit windy as this high pressure and the cold air, like I said, the cold air filters down from Canada, from deep up in Canada. That colder air is going to be coming down here. So we'll take a look at the actual temperatures here in a moment. That's going to be for the United States through Sunday. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. This is, move this over a little bit. Get this nice and centered. There we go. So this is now and then Friday and look at this. Okay, let me back up a little bit. This is Wednesday, 58 degrees in Montana. And then Thursday, 62 degrees in Montana, 63 degrees, this warm air, this warm center part of the country. And then look over here on the Pacific Coast too, in Western Washington, 55, 56, 58, and warm all the way down into California, into the desert of Arizona. And then you jump over the mountains and you get into New Mexico, eastern New Mexico, into Texas, and then back up again. This is where the warmth is going to be on Wednesday, Thursday into Friday. And then the cold is up here. And then you go into, now this is Friday, Thursday night into Friday. This temperature right here into central Pennsylvania, this says -4. I don't think it's going to be that cold, but it is going to be cold. So this is a little bit, and then this weekend, you see this deeper purple coming down, and then it filters down into the weekend, and then you get the -6, -3, -2. So this is going to be cold. It's going to be cold for you guys. But, you know, this is going to be the headline for you all this weekend, the cold, because there's not going to be much in the way of precipitation at once this system that was here, this low pressure system that I showed you a few minutes ago, once that exits and allows this cold air. I mean, you look up into Canada, -27, -22. So that's going to be cold. And so that is the outlook for the country for this week. I will be back each day with an updated forecast because you know how things change. But I don't think a lot of things are going to change this week. Now, by the end of the weekend, Super Bowl Sunday, I'm excited because the Seahawks are playing. That's my football team. Go Hawks. And then into next week, then things start to heat up as far as weather is concerned, back out here again. And so when things get heated up back here, and then towards the next weekend, Valentine's Day weekend, 14th, 15th, then that's when things are the high pressure looks like it's going to start breaking down for this area and allowing some more active weather and perhaps some snow coming in to the west. And this area starts to warm up a little bit. So these are all things that I will be keeping an eye on, of course, and we'll be reporting on and forecasting on as we go each and every day throughout the weeks. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, I keep forgetting to say this in the beginning of my video. And so if you're still here at 20 minutes, I thank you. If you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe, share, like, comment, hit the notification bell. It really, really helps me grow. So thank you very much. This is Kate Weatherwise saying goodbye for now.